I've been badly let down by my pet food supplier with potentially disastrous consequences for this series and for these frogs. Let me explain a little bit more. So I've been unable to be able to get the second instar brown crickets that I've been feeding these guys with for the last few weeks. The pet shop that I go to had mislabeled their boxes, and in the second instar boxes they were actually much too big. They were at least third instar crickets in those boxes, and the pet shop was very unhelpful, and I was very disappointed with the customer service I received. But the consequences are basically I don't have any food for these guys. Now you can see that there is a plant in here. There are some black fly on there. Now that's been in a few days and they have eaten a few of them, but there are still plenty of black fly left on there, which does actually mean that they're not eating them that much. So I don't think that's going to sustain them over the weekend. It's now Friday as I film this. So I think the only thing I can do, the only responsible thing I can do, is to release all these little frogs back into the pond. So what does that mean for this series? Well, it's not the end of Frog Watch, and let me tell you why. Okay, for a start we have one remaining tadpole in the tank. Now this guy, he's just got his front legs today, and so over the next few days his tail will be shrinking and he won't be eating anything at all before emerging out of the water. So he's actually going to be okay for the next few days. I won't need to feed this guy, so he'll be fine, and we can continue looking after him in the coming weeks. So I've released most of the frogs back into the pond now. Of course this was always going to happen, but I did not expect how to do it just yet. I hate to see them go, as I'm now no longer in control. I can't make sure that they feed, and I'll never know if they survive, which is the hardest thing about looking after wild frogs. I'll probably never see these frogs again, but I have to trust in nature and hope that they'll be okay. One thing that does make me feel happy is just a few moments after releasing them, I saw two of the frogs attempt to catch a fly that was buzzing around them, so they're obviously not too traumatised by the release process. Okay, so I have released all except of the three biggest and fattest frogs, and what I've done is I've placed another branch full of black fly. You can see how much is there, and what I'm going to try and do is keep these three. These are the three fattest and most well-fed frogs that I have, and they should be absolutely fine to last until Monday, and then over the weekend I can make sure I get some proper food for them. But to keep them going, there is a massive amount of black fly. As long as they see it, there we go, that one just fed. So we know that they are going to be able to eat that, and with only three the competition for food will not be that high, so this should sustain them easily over the weekend. So we're basically going to reduce down to 3 frogs. You can see there's 2 there and there's another one just there, and then we have our tadpole, which will be absolutely fine until Monday. Here he is, just in the corner right down the bottom there. So these are the final remaining stars, but of course there are some other ones which I may show you in just a moment. Back early on in this series, when I first introduced snails to the tank, there were some comments by people saying that maybe the snails would overrun my tank and become a problem, and I said it probably wasn't going to be an issue because they wouldn't last long enough. Now you can see, very difficult to get the camera to focus, but there are hundreds and hundreds of little baby snails. And also on the side of the glass there, right in the centre of the screen, there is a patch of eggs of something. I'm guessing they're snails' eggs, but I'm not entirely sure because they haven't hatched out at all. They've been there for quite a while, and there is another patch in various other places around in the tank. But as I say, it's not a problem because we're on the wind down to the end of the Frog Watch series. So before long, everything's going to get released into the pond anyway. So we're not going to be overrun by these snails. They're so small right now, and they're just feasting on the little plants. You can see it's quite a good shot of one right there. Now they're just eating the plants, and there's plenty of food for them. They're not a problem, but they'll get all released into the pond within the next week or so anyway. Okay, a bit of change of scenery. I'm at home, and this is the tank that you may have seen me set up in, I think it was the 3rd episode of this series. Now I have 8 little frogs in here. I've not shown them on the camera before, but these ones I've just been looking after at home just for fun. But it looks like may have to switch to these guys a little bit. Now when I got back from work on Friday, I rang around every pet shop in the local area. No one sells little tiny crickets that I've been feeding these guys. I had real trouble and I didn't know what I was going to do. Then I had a bit of a brainwave. I remembered last year I fed some of my frogs some maggots at one point. So I rang up a local fishing tackle shop, and they had some maggots. So I went down there and I've got myself a tub of little white maggots. So we're going to feed some of these guys. I've already fed them a few times and they like them and they're pretty good. So let's have a look at these and then we'll feed them. Okay, first of all let's take a little bit of a closer look at our guys in here. And as you can see, we've definitely got 8 little frogs, and these are all pretty big actually. Probably about as big as the biggest frogs I have in the other tank. We have the I don't know how well you can see this, there is a little maggot there. That frog is very interesting, can't quite get it at the moment though. So let's have a look at some of the maggots and then we can give them a bit of a feed. So here we go, I have a whole mass in here. These are actually pretty cheap to buy. I think it was about £1 to buy all these, and there's definitely more than I'm going to need. So we're going to scoop up a few of these, we'll stick them in and we'll see how they do. So I'm just going to grab an old baby fork that we have hanging around the house. I'm just going to scoop up a forkful, get a few in, and we'll just sprinkle them in. Stick a few more in. Now these are a little bit easier for the frogs to catch because they're a lot slower moving, they don't jump around. A little bit more tricky for them to actually get hold of them because they are bigger. But hopefully they'll spot them moving around at some point, and then they'll start going for them. Now the maggots I actually keep in the fridge when I'm not feeding them because they will slow down and not be bait. There we go, did you see that? Hopefully you saw that one. That little frog got one. That's amazing. So they definitely go after them. So yeah, so this is a literal lifesaver. I was really worried about being able to feed these guys, but I've got a big supply of food now, and this will definitely keep me going until I'm able to get some more crickets. And giving them a bit of a variety of food, I'm sure, is not a bad thing either. So it looks like one may have seen something. We'll keep a look on these until they maybe see them. He went for it, but he missed, unfortunately. Oh, again he missed. Sometimes I do wonder how they survive in the wild. Oh, there we go, we got one. You see that? There he is, and he's moving around. Oh, he spat it out again. Oh, stupid thing. Oh, he almost got it. He obviously wasn't quite happy with the size or the position of it in his mouth, and he ended up spitting it out again. I thought he was going to go for that one. Maybe he might have another go. He went for it, but he's too high up. He's too slow. Let's try and knock this one down a bit. Yeah, they're all getting quite active now, but they're not able to get anything. He's through at the bottom here. Oh, there we go, we got it! He actually leapt up and grabbed the wonderful side of the glass. Fantastic, they're all pretty happy now. So anyway, yeah, this has been an absolute lifesaver. I'm very glad I've got it. And yeah, so hopefully when I go back to work on Monday, the 3 that we've left at work will be fine, and we'll be able to give a whole load of these maggots to those guys and they'll be able to feed nicely. Brilliant. Okay, let's go back to the garden and we'll see, there's something else I want to show you. This is an adult froghopper. If you saw episode 12, you may remember we looked at the nymph of the froghopper. They are the creatures responsible for the patches of froth you see on plants called cuckoo spit. Since then, the nymphs have matured and become adults. Now, someone made a comment on that video that these bugs reminded him of cicadas. That's a very good observation, as they both belong to the same family. Anyway, I was hoping to be able to see the adult after we looked at the nymph, and this is a great way to end the episode. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to continue following along with the series, and check out some of my other videos as well. And I'll see you next Sunday for more Frog Watch. Goodbye.